The New York Rangers start out the 2023 playoffs with a dominating performance. They beat the New Jersey Devils by a score of 5-1. I was fortunate enough to be in attendance for this game. For me, I'd only been to two regular season games this year. One versus the Islanders, one versus Vegas at Madison Square Garden. This was at the Prudential Center. So there were a lot of Ranger fans, but it was a lot more New Jersey fans than I would have thought. Where going in, I thought maybe 60-40, 70-30. It was more than that. I thought it was at least 75-25 Devil fans. But they walked out of there very, very quiet. And this went a lot better than I thought it would. And just as far as my Ranger Devils experience at the Prudential Center specifically, the last time I'd been there was 2012 Conference Finals Game 4, which was not good. The Rangers were up 2-1 going into that game. They lost and wouldn't win again. That was the first of 3 Jersey wins. The Rangers lost in 6. But I also went in 2008. The stakes weren't quite as high. It was the first round, and it was a clincher where the Rangers 1-5 versus the Devils. But that's then. This is now. And look, in some ways it's not equal, but I look at this Devils team somewhat similarly to last year's Ranger team. And we saw that it was the Rangers, it took them time to really get going in that Penguin series. It took a while. I mean, and again, it's a little bit different because I view this Ranger team as different than the Penguins of last year. But if there was a time for the Rangers to kind of take advantage of inexperience from New Jersey, it would have been early in this series, and that's what they've done. So I definitely feel better about the series now, just because I was very negative about this Ranger Devil matchup, and I still have concerns. Still definitely do. I think the score is probably a little bit misleading, but the Rangers deserve to win this game. Let that be known. But look, like Jack Hughes he's just dangerous, and he got the one New Jersey goal. It was a penalty shot goal in the third after the Rangers were already up 4-0. It took the shutout away, which I felt bad for Igor. Igor was really sharp. He has continued his strong play down the stretch, making 27 saves on 28 shots. Like, he just looks locked in right now, and it's really good to see. And last year in his first playoff series against Pittsburgh, that was a struggle. That Penguin series was an absolute struggle, but he was definitely the better goalie, better than Vitek Vanacek on the Devils side. But Igor was good. And with the Devils, their special teams let them down. The Rangers were 2 for 3 on the power play, and the Devils were 0 for 4 on their power play opportunities. So the stars of this game for the Rangers, like I said, Igor Shesterkin, Adam Fox had 4 assists and really had a big part in 3 of them, because the other star of this game is Chris Kreider, who had 2 power play goals, 2 deflection goals off of Fox shots. So last year it was the Kreider show. On power plays. This year it was kind of more Mika Zibanejad, but now in this game it was kind of back to Kreider, and that was good to see. And Chris Kreider now, he leads the Rangers all time in playoff goal scoring, which is like remarkable. And he's that one player that's still left from that 2012 series. And of course, that was his debut. Like, he didn't even play in that regular season. He debuted late in the Ottawa series that year. But those are the 3 big stars of this game. In no particular order, but Shesterkin, Fox, Kreider. But an honorable mention goes to Barclay Goodrow. This is why you bring Goodrow in. And last year, unfortunately, he was hurt for a good amount of that playoffs. He got hurt in, the first game versus Pittsburgh. And we did not see him again until late in the Carolina series. So Goody, this unfortunately might be it for Goodrow's Ranger, which it's a bit of a stretch for me to say that, considering that he still has, 4 years left on his contract after this year. But it's a tight cap situation. And if you want to bring a guy back like Vlad Tarasenko, that might come at the expense of a Barclay Goodrow. It just might. But that fourth line was really good, specifically Goodrow, though, who I feel like, hasn't been all that noticeable down the stretch, but in this one was really, really good. It was a lot of the heart and soul guys, Goodrow and Ryan Lindgren. Ryan Lindgren scores in this game. He actually almost had 2 goals, but he scores in this game. This was his first non-empty net goal of the season. So I think he played maybe 64 regular season games. Of course, he was hurt late. And his one goal was an empty net goal. And so it's just amazing that first playoff game, he scores, and it was a big goal. Put the Rangers up 3-0. Okay, we'll talk about the few negatives individually. Patrick Kane. Again, Patrick Kane, I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see. That Tarasenko-Mikkola trade, fantastic. Honestly, fantastic. That was well worth it, and very, very useful. Both of them. The Kane trade, it's like, I don't think the Rangers were going to do it, but Kane basically forced his way here. That's basically what happened, and I just worry that he might be a liability, while also understanding that I know that Patrick Kane, what he is, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does score a big goal at some point, but I don't like what I see from him. Braden Schneider's a concern for me. We don't really talk about it enough, but look, Schneider, I think he can be a good player in the future, but there's still a lot of growing pains, and I think you look at that third pair, it's better than it used to be, like last year when you kind of had Justin Braun on his offside, before that Patrick Nemeth. Now, with Mikkola there, I feel a little bit better, but Braden Schneider, that's a concern for me. And also, Keandre Miller needs to kind of tighten up a bit. And look, give him credit for, it's kind of funny. The first Ranger goal, give him credit for that assist on the Tarasenko goal, but then also on the penalty shot goal by Hughes, it was all led by, unfortunately, that connection going wrong with Miller to Tarasenko. So for Keandre, he needs to kind of be a little bit better, but again, a lot more good than bad. And I feel a lot better about this series than I did going in, while also knowing that game 2, you're going to get a much better New Jersey Devil team, a much, much better team. So, you got your win on the road, which was the goal going in. Although, like I said, I never put too much stock into the home ice in the series. It's not that critical for many reasons in this Ranger Devil series. With that all being said, though, and again, like, if you told me going in, you take it 1-1 going back to MSG, I'll take that. But if you really want the Rangers to make a sustained run in this playoffs, not every series can go 7. It's just not going to work. You're going to run out of gas. So it is important for the Rangers to keep their foot, they can't take their foot off the gas. That's just what it is. So it is important for the Rangers to continue to win and to end these series as quickly as they can. But again, I don't want to disrespect the Devils, because I really do think they are a dangerous, dangerous team. So let's talk about this game. Let's get into it. Rangers take some early penalties, but the penalty kill did a nice job. And that was kind of a theme down the stretch, I felt like. We didn't talk about it much, but that penalty kill was really solid. And Trocheck trips Siegenthaler. And I've said this about Vinny Trocheck. It's kind of like Strome. There's too many offensive zone stick infraction penalties, but luckily the Rangers PK does a really nice job. Then at 4:58, they get on the board, and it's Vlad Tarasenko scoring his first Ranger playoff goal, assisted by Miller and Panarin. And it was really a great play by Tarasenko. There's so much strength to Tarasenko. I think going in, I didn't realize that. I kind of thought, this is a straight sniper with a lot of offensive ability, but he's just a bull. Honestly, such a strong player, and I continue to be impressed. And I don't know if it's me comparing him to Kane, but Tarasenko just looks good as a Ranger. And the Rangers take a 1-0 lead with that Tarasenko goal. Then Fox takes a penalty at 6:09. It's a holding penalty. He holds Jesper Bratt, and the Rangers PK again does the job. Then the Rangers get their first power play. Miles Wood holds Artemi Panarin, and this was a situation where Kreider actually wins the faceoff. And I think in looking at the replay, it kind of threw the Devils off positionally, because Kreider he wins the faceoff, and Mika got thrown out of the draw, and Kreider kind of just plants himself right in front of the net, kind of unattended. And Fox puts a wrist shot right there and an easy deflection by Kreider. So it is a Kreider goal from Fox and Panarin at 9:30. Rangers score on that power play. Then the Rangers do take a penalty at 18:40. Braden Schneider high sticks Timo Meier, but the Rangers kill it off going into the second period. I thought a really strong first from the Rangers. Second period, I thought the Devils came out strong, but the Rangers weathered that storm. And there wasn't a whole lot of action going on. And at 14:18, Eric Howla holds Filipino. On that power play, there was a disallowed goal. It was the right eventual call where Lafreniere, it was a shot by Trouba from the point. Lafreniere deflects it, but it's with a high stick. Lafreniere had a subdued sort of reaction, and it was the right call. So then at 16:57, the Rangers actually do make it 3-0, and it's Ryan Lindgren from Fox and Hedel. Nice pass by Fox. Lindgren, bad angle. Vanacek probably wants to have that back, but still give credit to Lindgren. A pretty nice shot. Gives Rangers a 3-0 lead, and that was the kid line. Kid line was pretty effective. You can see that Ranger third and fourth line is going to be an advantage for them. They have depth right now. If there's no injuries, they have depth. So, good job by them. The kid line defensively, I don't love them. I have to say that. I don't love them defensively, but they're just so cohesive as a unit in the offensive zone. And so that gives the Rangers a 3-0 lead. Then Tyler Mott with a not-so-smart penalty. Face-off violation by Mott. Delay a game at 17:01. But again, the PK really, really does a nice job. And maybe part of that is the Devils. Maybe not shooting enough on the power play, but Igor was real strong. We go to the third with the Rangers up 3-0. Shesterkin made some really good saves in the start of the third period. Then at 9:58, Michael McLeod with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And this was, the fourth line. These were both fourth lines kind of going at it at this point. And then the Rangers really put the cherry on top of this one as Chris Kreider scores again, his second of the night. Fox with a slap shot from the point, and it's deflected in by Kreider, and Patrick Kane with the other assist. Rangers take a 4-0 lead. Then at 17:14, there was, like I mentioned before, Miller should not have passed it to Tarasenko. Maybe a little blame goes to Tarasenko. And so Hughes goes in all alone, and Jacob Trouba slashes him on the breakaway. And so that leads to a penalty shot. And unfortunately, Hughes does score. Makes it 4-1. So Shesterkin doesn't get the shutout. The Devils actually had not been shut out once all season, and that does barely continue. But then the Rangers do get an empty net goal soon thereafter. Philip Hedel gets that goal from Kakko, and Adam Fox with his fourth assist. Just ridiculous. And the Rangers win at 5-1. And a night in the NHL where all four road teams won. So, this is good. A good start. And, it feels a lot different than it did last year. I went to that game as well. Triple overtime game, a lot of controversy, a lot of angst. This one was a lot more calm. And look, when you're winning like the Rangers were all game long, there is a sense of, it is nerve-wracking a little bit, but it really, this was a well-played game by the Rangers. It really was against a really good New Jersey Devil team. But I would expect New Jersey to really, really, really amp up their game on Thursday. That will be a different type of game. But you have to like Shesterkin over Vanacek or who, look, maybe the Devils make a goalie change at some point. It won't happen yet, but it could happen. Schmid has been a really solid backup. Forgetting about Mackenzie Blackwood. So Rangers come out of this game healthy, just all good on the Ranger front. And it was fun to be there at the Prudential Center, seeing the Rangers win a road game. And hopefully they'll have the same luck in game 2. But again, I'm looking forward to that one. That will be a pretty pivotal moment in this series. If the Rangers can somehow win it, then they're really looking pretty good going back to MSG up 2-0. But we'll see if that happens. Again, Rangers with a really dominating performance in their first game of this 2023 playoff journey.